So, welcome to the Screen Addiction, the session, and I'm Riddhi Doshi Patel. I'm a practicing child psychologist and a parenting counselor. Been 19 years that I have been working in this space, and the series of masterclass that I'm conducting right now till the month of July is all about hand-holding parents in their journey of parenting and addressing all that small hurdles that they face in their journey of parenting. Well, we are going to talk about why it happens. So, why a child is addicted to mobile, but we're also going to talk about the solutions. So, more than the problems, we're going to talk about the solutions today so that you are equipped to have that in your personal life with your children. Till then, tell me one thing. How many hours is your child hooked on to the screen? Um, Say it be the mobile or say it be the TV screen. Tell me in the chat box how many hours. Okay, 2 to 3 hours. Okay, keep writing to me. Thanks, Tripti. I want all the parents to be active on the chat box, please. 1 to 2 hours. Okay, keep writing to me. 2 to 3 hours, 1 to 2 hours, and if possible, do write the age group of the child as well. So these days, I often receive parents coming and telling me that my child is not interested in studies, my child is not interested in going to school, my child doesn't sit at one place and study. My child um, keeps on hopping from one place to another. And what we do is we name it as ADHD. But you know what, parents? ADHD is very different. More or less, what your children are experiencing is about not connected with studies or not doing certain things in their day-to-day life or probably not inclined to do certain things. It's all because of they are hooked onto the screen, say it be TV or say it be mobile phone. Now, let us understand why. Okay, Tripti, it's 9.5. Okay. And 2 to 3 hours on the screen. Rest of the parents, if you can just mention in the chat, that will make it easy. Let's make it a little more interactive so that I get to support you better in this journey. Um, let's understand current scenario of the addiction that children are into. So current scenario is all about children. And children in the age bracket of 8 to 12, the latest recorded at my office is 5 hours between the age group of 8 to 12, barring the study time. So when they are going online to check on their tutorials or check on the homework or doing projects and collecting the material, that is different. Apart from that, 5 to 12 for 8 to 12 age group, it is 5 hours, and from teens, that is 13 and above, it's almost 7 to 8 hours. Now 7 to 8 hours or 5 hours are absolute unproductive time for the children. This 5 to 7 hours or 7 hours to 8 hours is absolutely unproductive in the sense that your children are not achieving anything. Your children are not learning anything. Your children are not mingling with the friends. Your children are not mingling with the parents. Your children are not doing something which is hobby, which is satisfying. They are not doing any sort of community services. They are not eating properly. They are not sleeping properly. So out of 24 hours, if 8 to 9 hours are just there for sleeping throughout the day and 8 to 9 hours are there for the mobile phone, then they are left with just few hours, which is at school or college. Imagine what is your child learning? Where are your children heading? Time to just put your radars on parents and literally restrict or by diverting them to doing something which is more productive, which is more connecting, wherein it's a community or probably they are with you doing something really productive. Now, how do you make out that your child is addicted? While everything is on Google, but let me put it more easy for you. Your child has severe mood swings. Your child has severe irregulated sleep pattern, irregulated eating pattern. Your child has no emotions felt. So while you are talking, or probably while I am talking to you, probably you might be nodding your head, or probably you're putting up in the chat, or you're agreeing to certain things, and that's where there is a head movement, or probably you're writing. So there is a reciprocation of my gestures with your, but your children don't understand emotions while they are addicted. So I'm talking about addiction. Addiction is where your children have irregulated sleep patterns, irregulated eating pattern. Your child has irregulated emotions, where the emotions are not balanced, where the emotions are very extreme. Uh, Predominantly anger, which is outcome of any emotion felt. Anger is not the direct emotion, it is an indirect emotion. It is felt because of insecurity, not aware of what my worth is, so what I am best at, not aware of my strengths, not so confident, body image issues, and that's where leads to anger. Now, all these problems are also related to screen. It's also related to addiction. Your children don't feel emotions. Your children is feeling only extreme emotions. Is it anger or is it detachment? It is detachment or it is anger. It's two extremes felt. Your child is not connected with you. Your child doesn't share the day with you. Your child doesn't talk about how the studies are going, how the friends are connecting, and there is a detachment. Your child is there in the school sometimes, but is not attentive. Um, your child is at home studying or going to the class, but not attentive. In this case, it is important that you understand that your child is away from the screen. अचानक से कुछ नहीं होगा parents. You will have to gradually decrease it, but ensure that while you are gradually decreasing it, we are going to understand the tips and techniques today, and you can start implementing it. Let us understand, why does your child, get addicted to the mobile phone. There is a sudden rise of dopamine, and while the children are using mobile phone. Okay, there is endless scrolling. There are triggers with dopamine releases, like feel good. Okay, I'm seeing this and oh, I'm feeling really good. Oh, I'm seeing this and I am feeling that मैं भी कुछ कर सकता हूँ. That instant um, rise in dopamine is where their brain starts craving for it. It is beyond them to control. Similar to addiction, other addictions also, parents, the brain builds a dependency. So if I have to feel good, I have to go on the mobile phone. I have to check reels. I have to see the TV serial. I have to play a game. Then only I will feel good. Otherwise, I will not feel good. So it is all about that dopamine rise, and wherein a child wants to really feel good, or probably the child is detached from you, detached from other things, and it's kind of the child is not feeling good, it's overwhelmed with the emotions, and it's exactly at that time your child for your child it is a coping strategy. It can be one of the coping strategy where the child is just trying to scroll different social media, Instagram, Discord, and everything, chatting around, and then trying to feel good rather than solving the problems that he or she is facing in the real life. Second is a peer pressure. Peer pressure because they are told in the WhatsApp group, hey, I've uploaded something. Hey, did you check my reel today? Hey, did you check my picture today? As young as 7 and 8 years children do WhatsApp, asking people to check their pictures, asking people to check their reels, asking people to even just go and comment. So there is, if I am not going on the Instagram to check, I might have FOMO. Oh, I'm going to miss out. Oh, what are they talking about? And if I don't have my mobile phone, I will want a mobile phone for myself because I have an issue of FOMO. That's fear of missing out. I might not get aware of all the social media trends. I might not get aware of I as in child. I might not get aware of all the uh, tidbits and all the small words that the Gen Z is using. And I might feel that, okay, I'm not a part of the group. That can be one of the reason as well why your child is constantly seeking screen or is fighting for screen. There are no boundaries set by the parents, and there are no boundaries set on the social media also, albeit Instagram do have a teen account, and recently in one of the newsletter by Rins, we had spoken about Rins we had spoken about Instagram teen account, and we had shared details about it, and many parents came back and said that they never knew about it. The newsletters are shared because we want to educate you. We want you to educate yourself, and we want you to educate your children as well. But before that, you need to educate yourself. One more reason for going more on the social media is excessive screen exposure. Uh, which is their FOMO, and that might also result in, oh, let me just go and see this, or let me just go and check this profile, or let me just go and understand this game better, oh, let me just understand what are the fashion trends, oh, I can be an influencer as well. And that impulsiveness of a child might lead to also getting addicted to the screen. The science behind mobile addiction is, we just discussed, it's a dopamine effect. Also, is the social media rewards that if I'm playing a game or if I'm on social media, I may connect with other people. I might see what my boyfriend is doing, what my girlfriend is doing. Okay, before you talk about that, before you even say that my child is just 7 years old or my child is just 9 years old, yes, they have their own pairs, they have their own girlfriends, they have their own boyfriends, or probably they're teased with somebody. So hence it is there in their mind, and they know that I have to go and check the profile. So either I have my mobile phone, I'll go and check, either I'll pick up my parents' profile, Instagram profile. So I'll pick up my parents' phone and I'll check, or either I might take my support staff, the support staff of the house, and I might check my grandparents' mobile. But I will surely go on social media to check what my boyfriend is doing, what are the other classmates doing, and I want to see what is a fashion trend so I can be different in the class. I can be more happening and in the fashion. Now, let us understand that while we're talking about the science behind this mobile addiction, excuse me for all the coughing, sorry. So, while we're talking about the science behind this mobile addiction, the major one is which leads to a memory impairment and cognitive decline. Is why I'm saying cognitive decline, because the children, while they are on the screen, they are their capacity to think, their capacity to be innovative, their capacity to be creative is absolutely going down day by day because there's one-sided content being thrown on that. We recently had a so-called influencer whose content was, was seen, was grasped, and was spoken about by youngsters, young adults of the country, youngsters as young as 9 and 10 were talking about their instance. Now, a 9 year or a 10-year-old talking about all those sentences said by the influencer, what is the impact that is there on a 9 year and 10-year-old? Do they ever do they have a capability of even imagining what does it mean and how weird it can sound, or how creepy it is, or how crap it is? Do they even understand? Do they even can imagine? No, it is beyond them to understand the seriousness of the words spoken. Also, parents, you might see that your child is just scrolling some YouTube videos, or you might see that your child is just scrolling some learning material. But while they are doing at YouTube, off screen would come and that would talk about health, that would talk about muscles, that would talk about some trending fashion trends. And that will be one slide or one video. And if your child clicks on it, that leads to profiles on Instagram, which is all revealing profile of people, and that leads to porn. We need to understand what our children are grasping from the internet, what our children are grasping from the social media, and especially keep monitoring it. Also, because of the screen and the light, because they are sleeping and they are watching the mobile phone, there are sleep disruptions. There are your cornea is affected. If there is Dr. I see Dr. Chenil, if she can just um, acknowledge what I said. The cornea is affected by the light that the phone throws, and the most important is that you are sleeping with a thought. Your child is sleeping with a thought. I'm talking about the child here. Your child is sleeping with a thought, and in that, the thought multiplies in the head throughout the night. So your child's sleep is disrupted, and your child's the next day is also not so energetic because your child is sleeping with a thought in mind, which is 2x, 3x, it doubles in the mind. Using the phone before bed delays the sleep, leading to poor quality rest, agree, and the blue light, it suppresses melatonin, the sleep hormone. And that is the reason they are awake till late. It weakens the memory also, parents. It increases the anxiety. It is dysregulating the stress and the emotional emotions that a human being can feel. So I had recently a young boy coming to me, a 14-year-old, and he said that, Auntie, I am unable to feel empathy for the other person. And while I was probing the child, I got to know that the child, in lieu of playing games, in lieu of that, I want to create a career in gaming and kind of, you know, explaining that to the parents. And by parents' consent, he started playing games, but it was no creating games, it was playing games, and the games were played almost 10 hours. Now, while the 10 hours the screen was used, the child stopped understanding emotions. The child stopped reacting to the extent where the mother or the father is talking to the child will not emote anything on the face. There are no emotions. The child will not even nod. And if there is a smile, he would smile and the expression will go off, achanak se. That is where the child, a 14-year-old, came and said that, Auntie, I'm not able to feel. The main thing behind the emotions that were not felt by the child was the screen. Luckily, at 14, he understood what is disrupting his emotion, his feelings, his understanding, and his empathy is where we could regulate. But how often the children understand, how often the parents are able to understand and support the children. Let us understand how, as parents, you can support your children. Well, let's not talk about how your children are doing it right now, but try it to start new, fresh from Monday. And how do you do it? Take your spouse into confidence and create a plan. Create a plan in a way where both the spouses are on the same page so that your child cannot manipulate. Set the screen rules. That is the first thing. Clear cut boundaries is very important. Now, if your child is addicted to the phone for 3 hours, 5 hours, and if you say, hey, from tomorrow onwards, you are not going to be using the phone, you're going to be using it for 1 hour, or you're absolutely not using the phone, it's going to impact the child's emotional and mental health. So, parents, do not do that. It can be done gradually. Anything which is done suddenly is going to impact the child's emotion and mental health. Ensure that you do it periodically. So, the first way is set clear and consistent boundaries. Establish the screen time in a manner that, okay, you have it for 1.5 hours, But the amount of time you use it for the screen, I have no issue. That much time you have to do something which is creative, study, and something very creative. Ensure that your child is enrolled in one hobby class and one sport. Sport needs to be outdoor. Ensure that there are no indoor sports at the moment when your child is addicted. 3 hours and above is addiction. Ensure that your child doesn't go for anything which is in house, indoors. Because if it is indoors, again, your child is going to go on screen and do it. And here we are planning to let the child go off screen. So the most important is clear cut instructions, set boundaries, and with consistent support to your child is only where you can set up the boundaries. Convince, enrolling, setting examples is very important. Be a role model. Yes, role model in the sense when you wake up in the morning, ensure that you don't pick up your mobile phone first thing. At the start of the day, please ensure that you don't pick up your mobile phone. The last time of the day, don't pick your mobile phone. When your child starts observing you, the child will start doing it. It cannot be immediately done. It might not be immediately done, but you will see that there is gradually a difference. So during the lunch time, dinner time, and breakfast time, no mobile phones. Just put it somewhere nearby. While you are eating, if somebody is calling, no getting up to receive the call. Make certain ground rules. While you wake up in the morning, first thing, no screen, please. While you sleep, no screen, please. But what would you do if you don't take screens while you go to sleep? At least an hour before or 45 minutes before, you can just talk, relax, listen to music. You can just do meditation, or just do sky gazing, anything but away from the screen. And be a role model, parents. We tell our children, don't take screens, please don't do it in the morning, please don't do it in the night. But when our children abruptly enters the room without even knocking or just sees us, we are all on the mobile phones. That's not being a role model to our children. Replace screen time with something which is very engaging. That's the third thing, something like a hobby. You can involve your children in doing something together, like exercising together, cycling together, morning walks together, evening walks together. Cooking and creating menus together, whether it's a boy or whether it's a girl, doesn't matter. Involving the children in creating menus, very important. You can have involve the sorry, you can have the child being involved in budgeting. You can have the child involved in creating a grocery list. However, your child is interested or not interested, involving is all that we can do, parents. Gradually, we can just get them to be a part of something which is called a family time. Parental controls. Now, there are few parental controls where children are very smart these days. So, what they do is they disable from their mobile phone. Ensure that you have such parental controls where you can periodically regulate. Also, children these days have started locking their phones. Two things, two things you can tell your children is A, I don't lock my phone. So, I would appreciate even if you don't lock your phone. Try using a little emotional aspect as a parent and explain them why a mobile phone is not supposed to be locked. As a parent, you need to understand that if you start locking your child's, if you allow your child to lock the mobile phone, you will have no control of understanding or of on understanding where your child is heading, what your child is doing, with whom your child is connected, and what is the history. Please don't do that. Simultaneously, if you lock it, your child will certainly lock it. Explain your child that is nothing private when it comes to parents and children. It's all about family. And within a family, we can be open in talking about our mistakes and our wins as well. When you start creating the space for your children will not lock the phone. And that's where you will get to understand. Sometimes you can pip in and check. Ensure that not every time you tell your child that you've checked the phone, don't open the messages which are unread, but at least from the read messages also you can understand where your child is heading. Probably you can support the child. It's just a beginning. Ensure that you have certain hobbies like reading instilled in your child, just like creating a reading corner, or by having a family time when you're reading a book together, or just going to the library together and reading a book. Your child will resist in the first instance, but we are parents, and I'm sure we as parents can convince them either this way or either that way. Don't be strict, but use all your love, care, and affection towards your child and try to convince the child. Once your child is convinced, it's where the pattern can be changed. Social interactions needs to be made a priority. So you can invite your child's friends home and ensure that when they come home, they have to put their mobile phone in a basket at the entrance itself. So this is something which I do. I have a 14-year-old son, and whenever his friends are coming home, the building friends, there's a rule. They're supposed to keep the mobile phones and they can periodically check, but they are supposed to be doing something which is without the mobile phone. And children love coming at my place because I keep them engaged in something or the other. And now my child has also got a habit of doing and playing board games or playing things wherein a mobile is not involved. Maybe kite flying, maybe drawing, maybe painting, maybe clay, maybe candle, something wherein your child is involved with his friends. Outdoors, cricket, football together, play dates, or going and meeting the grandparents. If the grandparents are not staying with you, if the grandparents are staying with you, the child's grandparents, then probably you can all have a beach date together. Or if you're in Mumbai, then Sanjay Gandhi National Park date together or a garden date together. But ensure that Saturday and Sunday, the social interactions are so much that your child doesn't want to go to the mobile phone to kill the boredom, but your child has a lot of things in hand to do and just not get bored. Parents understand one thing, that if you get a sudden ban on the mobile phone, that's going to kind of hamper the child's emotional and mental health. Your child might have anger tantrums, bouts of crying. Your child might hit. Your child might harm himself or herself. So that is sudden aggression that you might see coming, outrage that you might see coming off from your child's end. In this case, it is important that you gradually start detoxing. Have a rule in the family: every Sunday, 4 hours, no mobile phone. Okay, there are certain rules which you can start from you yourself, and then you can gradually ask your children to be doing it. Also, there is something which I have always been advocating, is once a week having a family time together, and talking about how the week has been for everybody, how the uh, achievements have been for everybody, how resiliently you manage the problems, how resiliently you handle the problems that came your way, or uh, it might be sudden or it might be a planned problem, but you managed it. Um, what are the things that you appreciate in each other, and what are the things that you need to support each other and come out of it? So there's a few of the things that you can have it as a support system for your child, so that your child starts talking and get interacting with you. You need to get your child interacting with you. That is very, very important. Also, while you have a family time, you can just have 4 questions, which is called the emotional journal. Excuse me. There are 4 questions that you can have as a part of the emotional journal, and you can do it as a family. The first question says, how was your week? Second question says, which emotions and feelings did you experience majorly throughout the week? Okay, so first question was, how was your week? Second was, which emotions and feelings did you experience majorly during the week? Third question, which emotions and feelings did you experience multiple times? When such questions are asked to your children, and when you are also writing these answers, you will understand your own pattern and you will understand your child's pattern also. So, again, I repeat, the first question, how was your week? The second question, which emotions and feelings did you experience throughout the week? Third, which emotions and feelings did you experience multiple times during the week? And the fourth, which emotion and feelings during the week left a memory with you? Which emotion and feeling during the week left a memory with you? This will help your child to understand that what am I doing? Where am I heading? Why am I understanding, or why am I feeling certain emotions multiple times? Am I disrupting my own emotions? Am I disrupting my own emotional pattern? Am I disrupting my own mental health? It is this journal, the emotional journal, the four question which is going to help you as a parent and help your child also to understand patterns, self and your child, or self and your parents as well. I'm not saying that stop giving your mobile phone to your children, or stop allowing your child to use the screen. I'm not saying that. I just mean to say that it has to be used appropriately. Use it to gain knowledge. Use it to unlearn and relearn certain things. Use it for the betterment for your own self. But using it um, just to scroll the social media, or getting your emotional health impacted, this applies to us as well, parent. This applies to our children and to us as well. Let me share an example. Um, Long back, before the pandemic, I knew a family wherein a child was 2 years and was going to a very reputed preschool in Juhu. The child would not place his feet on the floor at all. The child will only travel to the preschool if the child's father is coming and head to in the Mercedes car. If the child's mother wants to drop the child in the Honda City, the child will not go. One day, the child was banging the chair in the school, and the teacher said that, "What are you doing? This will break." And the child says that, "My papa will get a new one." And the teacher was shocked. After a few days, the child was doing some gestures which were not age appropriate, like touching the private parts and playing with it. And the teacher pinpointed, and the teacher started probing. And while the teacher probed, the teacher got to know that there was a video which was on the mother's mobile phone, and the child had watched that particular video where the child learned doing something which was not age appropriate. Hence, it is important that we monitor. Hence, it is important that we gradually decrease the time, manage the history, see what your child is watching, and unfortunately, or knowingly or unknowingly, if your child has watched porn, talk it out. Explain your child the repercussions of such videos on us, emotional and mental health, how staged all those videos are, and how it is so different from the reality. It is important to talk it out to your children. Parents understand that mobile addiction is absolutely real and it is impacting children's life. Every alternate day, either I get a new client or either I get a call, "Ma'am, my child is not studying. My child is not appearing for exams. Ma'am, my child doesn't want to go to school. My child is not sleeping properly. My child is doing a lot of late nights. My child is not feeling energetic. My child is bedwetting. My child is constantly throwing tantrums. My child is just not reciprocating unless I literally shake off my child. He doesn't understand that I'm calling. All this is because of the addiction to the mobile, to of the screen, TV and mobile phone. You are the only one, dear parent, who can help your child in managing the screen habit. Do it gradually. Don't make it a sudden plan that, hey, today I will want you to stop your mobile time, your screen time, and you're not going to watch it. Trust me, you are impacting your child's emotional and mental health. Don't do it. Gradually decrease it, decrease it. All that we have discussed today, probably you can start implementing it. You can start journaling. You can start getting involved, whether you are a working parent or whether you are a homemaker. Ensure that you start getting involved in your child's daily life. That is what is going to help your child in managing the mobile addiction. Uh, all yours, parents. Any questions? I'm all here to address the questions. Ask me anything. You might put it in the chat or you might unmute yourself and ask. Either ways is fine. Okay. Um, well, one thing is very important that you don't associate two things: going to the potty and mobile phone, eating and mobile phone, sleeping and mobile phone. Everything has to be differently handled. So if your child is eating, during the time when your child is eating, talk about where the grains have come from, where is the which country, which state grows that particular grain, what is the culture, what is the habitat, what is the dress code, how are the people. Talk about it. This is the way you increase the child's general knowledge. Now, if your child is absolutely addicted to the mobile phone while eating and the child will not eat, you cannot stop it immediately. What you can do is one day you can just say, oh, the battery is down and I have just put it for charging. Or probably you can that day make it a little more interesting by creating a story on the roti, by creating a smiley and say which expression is this, and probably that's how you start having a conversation. The second day you can just give it for half an hour. Oh, the battery is drained, let us put it for charging, and involve the child into conversations while you're eating. So this is how gradually you can stop the habit, but ensure that eating and mobile phone absolutely is a strict no-no. Why? Because your child is not aware of what the food the child is eating. The child is not aware of how much the child is eating. In this case, there are full chances, you have checked with any dietitian, uh, there are full chances of the child going obese. And also, even if the child is not going obese, the digestion is absolutely disrupted because the child is not aware of मैं कितना खा रहा हूँ, कभी ज्यादा ही खा लेता हूँ या कभी कम खाता हूँ, मुझे नहीं समझ आती है because I'm engrossed in the screen. So ensure that gradually you decrease it. Don't do it अचानक से because that might hamper your child's eating habits as well. So gradually, maybe 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes, you stop. Maybe drain your battery to the extent that it is just 3 or 4, and that, oh my God, it is the battery is drained. Let's put it for charging. We are parents and we are smart. Let us move a step ahead in smartness and help our children to solve this. Uh, what if grandparents give them mobile phone? Yes. It is very important to explain the grandparents everything that I've spoken to you today, parents. Please do it because the grandparents, out of love, care, and affection, will want the child to be using the screen because कहीं ना कहीं उनकी एज की वजह से वो हैंडल नहीं कर पाते बच्चे को, या वो बच्चे को रोता हुआ नहीं देख पाते, या बच्चा नहीं खाना खाता है तो वो देख नहीं पाते हैं because they love the grandchildren. In that case, you need to explain the grandparents about the repercussions of that will arise or that the child will face due to overuse of screens. Please talk it out. Again, if the grandparents are your parents, then you will talk. If the parents are your husband's parents, then your husband will talk, right? Ensure that this is done accordingly, but it has to be done. Take the grandparents into confidence and try to solve it. Shaurya gets irritated and agitated when I stop him. He's less interested in any board games. He's afraid that he will lose. Hmm. Don't stop. Yes, parent, I'm saying don't stop the child. Gradually, you will have to divert the child. Be a little smart and ensure that your child is just on mobile phone for some time. There is a chanak need to go out. There is a chanak need to call up somebody. There is a chanak need to create a PowerPoint presentation or gradually use the screen time also in doing something productive. Or probably you might go out for a coffee date with your child, but be creative for 15 days. Trust me, parents, just 15 days, and you will see that your child is gradually moving out of that addiction. It's a question of 15 days. So have 15 creative ideas for yourself and involve your child in doing that. Probably you can say that, hey, we need to go and meet, or probably going for walk tomorrow onwards, hame mein baat dalte jao, and involve your child doing it. Or probably you can say, just go and get this from the shop. It's really important. I need your help. Right? So involve, get a little more smarter parents and 15 ideas, 5, 10, 15. It's a question of 15 days only. If your child is not interested in board games, it is okay. Initially, आप शुरू ना करें board games. Eventually, sequence है जहाँ पे हार जीत बहुत कम होती है, रमी है, card game है, anything like Pictionary, wherein all are involved and there is no win or lose, is such games you can start playing so that your child doesn't feel that, okay, I'm losing. Probably once a while you are losing, you can just say, oh God, I lost. I'm feeling a little terrible, but let me retry. So you bouncing back or handling it resiliently might also teach a indirect lesson to your children. Okay, so try this out, parents, because these are the only sources you have in hand to help your child overcome this addiction. It's a question of 15 days, parents. Tried and tested. I have so many clients where the parents are involved, and as per the guidance, they have been able to manage it. If they can manage it, I'm sure you can manage it as well. Any other questions? In that case, parents, um, how to make them interested in studying. Trupti, if you're a part of the Parentales group, then I've recently recorded a video on YouTube, and I'm just putting it for you here also. Visit that. That talks about how to create study time more interesting, how to create all the small things wherein your child gets interested in study time. Okay. And if you're not a part of the parentals group that is on WhatsApp, then I have your number, and I will be adding it to you. Just give me a consent that I will add you so that you'll be added by the team. Um, we keep on sharing all the YouTube links as well. Thank you, Trupti. I'll ask the team to add you. So we keep on sharing all the links that where I'm supporting the parents, and you have easy access to tips and techniques in the Parentales group. Parents, the next session, which is free for all the parents, it's on 26th of April, which is on sleep hygiene. How to help your child to regulate sleep, how to make sleep time interesting, and how to make it really viable for your child so that when the child wakes up in the morning, the child is fresh and it doesn't wake up with a thought in mind, but a child is absolutely blank. And with a decluttered mind, the child is waking up. Do block your calendars. This is the link. Enroll. It's a free session for all the parents. It's on sleep hygiene. And Trupti, I'll share the video with you for sure. Thank you so much, parents. We had 68 parents enrolling today for the session. Unfortunately, we've just 9, but I'm going to share this video link, the recorded video link with all the parents so that they get to see and they understand that how to make it interesting, how to make life interesting even without screens. Thank you so much. And thanks for being a part of this webinar. I'll see you on 26th April for sleep hygiene. Do enroll yourself. It's absolutely free. And do share it with everybody whom you feel can benefit from this. Thank you so much.